Hey guys, and welcome to Film Artsy, your number one source for all things films and movies. My name is Elijah, and it's been a really crazy month if you are a Spider-Man fan, because as of a month ago, we honestly thought this would be the end of us seeing Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and now with the new deal cut between Sony and Marvel, it's looking like we're going to see Spider-Man in not only another MCU movie, but in a very big and different way. And with recent speculative rumors that have been circulating, we kind of wanted to go over them because there's a lot of potential information about this new movie that has been talked about, and while we don't have any official confirmation just yet, we still want to go through everything that's being talked about now, so we're up to date with a lot of the speculation and rumors that are circulating around, because some of the stuff that is in this possible Spider-Man 3 sounds absolutely amazing, and you guys are going to be really excited for some of the things that they might be pulling off. So that being said, let's go ahead, jump into this speculation as to what's going on with Spider-Man 3 that will be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Agent Romanoff, you miss me?
Oh yeah, Charles, we got ourselves an X-Men fan.
Captain.
Your Highness.
Captain, big fan, Spider-Man. Hey everyone.
Now, the big thing that is rumored right now is that this new film will feature Chameleon as one of the major villains. However, we might be seeing appearances of more villains as the Spider-Man universe continues to grow, and they've already hinted at the Sinister Six back in the Spider-Man Homecoming post-credits scene, so we wouldn't be too surprised to see more villains starting to come out of the shadows to start making that formation of a team. But we're looking at Chameleon being a likely front runner for the villains, but we might also see Kraven, who is Chameleon's brother, but we can get more into that later. One of the interesting things about this information that's coming out, though, is that this new Spider-Man movie is really going to look into the identity of Spider-Man and Peter Parker. It's been an ongoing theme throughout the arc we've seen with Peter Parker since Homecoming and him finding his own identity, and now that as of Spider-Man Far From Home, his identity is public, it's going to really be a different experience from anything we've seen from Spider-Man so far, and it's going to probably play into that, having Chameleon and Kraven as some of the villains. Chameleon will probably be doing some sort of take on Spider-Man, maybe impersonating him, really hurting his reputation, more so than what we've kind of seen hinted at that Mysterio kind of put into action at the end of Far From Home. But it's going to be really interesting to see how any of this plays out. Now, on top of that, there's going to be a ton of different things. Now, this new movie is rumored to be the darkest of the MCU Spider-Man films we've seen so far, which is actually something we're taking on with a pretty warm approach. We think that so far the first two films have been lighthearted enough and have developed Peter Parker as this great character in the MCU, but as this character is so important for the future of not only the MCU, but just the story arcs that have been going on for such a long time, we need to see a more grown-up Peter Parker, and it's sounding like this film is really going to go into that direction, really focusing on this personal journey and kind of maybe show a lot darker, realistic, grittier side of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. But it's still going to be interesting to see what's going to happen when his identity is just completely bashed upon. Seeing a Chameleon who pretends to be Spider-Man and, is a villain and commits crimes could be something really interesting to see on film. But not only that, this could also play into the whole emergence of Skrulls, which is something that has been kind of lurking around in the MCU for a while. We see it with Captain Marvel, and we know that the story arc is kind of heading for the MCU to get into the Secret Wars, where we're going to see a lot of Skrulls and whatnot. So it's going to be this really interesting reflection using Chameleon here. Maybe there is a tie-in to do with the Skrulls. Now, there is other rumors going on with this film that they're going to really use this film as a chance to also introduce new characters or characters that we've been waiting for a while, but they don't necessarily want to do fresh reboots to these characters that have had movies in recent years that weren't in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Specifically, we're talking Fantastic Four. There is a lot of speculation that we're going to be seeing Fantastic Four coming into this new film. If you watch the post-credits scene to Far From Home, it looked like in the background there was even allusions that Fantastic Four is joining the MCU soon, and just with that, we're already really excited for the possibilities that could come in here. There's still the rumors going around that John Krasinski from The Office and his wife Emily Blunt, they're both great actors, would be taking on two of the characters in Fantastic Four, but these are still rumored at the time. But seeing a Fantastic Four crossover with Spider-Man could be a really great opportunity to not only introduce these new characters, but also kind of bring up a new team and start forming this new team. If you read the comic book, Spider-Man is very close with Fantastic Four. He actually becomes a member of the Fantastic Four for a little while in some of the comic book lines. So that could be something interesting just to see this relation between characters. Maybe Fantastic Four, they become this team of heroes who are trying to stop Spider-Man, who's perceived as evil. That'd be a really interesting take because it could allow for heroes to clash without necessarily having to have one hero necessarily be a bad guy. So that's something also that's really interesting. But there's even more things that are supposed to be going on. They're really going to start tying in some of these other series, specifically Disney Plus shows. And there's rumors going around that She-Hulk, which is a new Disney Plus show coming out, might also have some representation in Spider-Man 3, maybe portraying Peter Parker's attorney. That's what a lot of the talks are looking at. Jennifer Walters would be the character, and it could lead into a ton of other things just because of where this show is kind of setting up to be in the Disney Plus universe. Once again, this stuff is all speculative, but at the end of the day, just some of these ideas are sounding really interesting, and they're sounding like they're really taking place. This isn't necessarily something that's just been thrown together. It's kind of a logical step for what we could see in the MCU. There's other speculations as to whether or not we're going to see Oscorp make an appearance in the new Spider-Man movie. It's still up in the air, but just from the things that we've seen, it's looking really cool. We would really love to see other wittier characters team up with Spider-Man 2, like maybe the Human Torch, as that's going to be a major character in Fantastic Four, but it also kind of plays into that more lighthearted type of character, similar to Peter Parker. And we also know Deadpool is coming to the MCU also, and seeing a team up between Ryan Reynolds and Tom Holland would really just be some of the coolest things we've ever seen out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's so weird. We're really excited about the future. We thought that this would be it for Spider-Man not too long ago, and now with these new rumors that are starting to circulate, even if only a little sliver of it turns out to be true, it makes us excited just because we know there's a future. There's a ton of time we get to now take to just enjoy all of these crazy and wild rumors and speculate to the future for not only Spider-Man, but the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We really wanted to turn this conversation though around to you guys, see where your guys' head is at, and leave a comment down below with what you're thinking about all of these rumors. Do you like the idea of characters like the Fantastic Four being introduced in a Spider-Man film, or do you wish they would have their own standalone movie? And what are your thoughts on Chameleon being a villain in this upcoming film? I think it's going to be really interesting to see a Spider-Man that's just hated in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just because not only is that kind of relevant to some tropes we've seen from Spider-Man in the past, but it also could lead to a really unique storytelling experience where a hero is just hated by everyone. It's not something we've really seen explicitly. We've seen a lot of people think that heroes are villains, but we haven't seen one where just like everyone just hates him for the sake of hating him. And that could be really interesting to see too, especially because Tom Holland is such a lovable Spider-Man, and it could be kind of funny to see this dynamic on the big screen. Anyways, guys, we want to turn this around to you guys. Let us know what you're thinking, and we'll see you guys all next time with a brand new video. Bye, guys.
Talking.
I'm about to.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Hi.
See you guys.
Know anybody?